Hello and welcome to this week's devlog as I approach the end of building an escape room in virtual reality. This week, I need to open a book. First time I've done that in a while, I really need to read more. I already had a book model in place, which here looks a little bit like moleskin. Someone told me once that it should be pronounced moleskine. It's great fun at parties. I started by splitting the pages in half, connected the spine up, and then simply animated the book pages rotating around the spine. The effect was quite good in Blender, so I brought everything into Unity, adding a box collider and a trigger, and apart from my hand going straight through the pages, looks quite good. Now, I'm not an accomplished author just yet. I'm working on it. But to start on my literary career, I thought I would begin with a story told through pictures, and these pictures would describe to the player how to escape from the nightmare lobby in which they had found themselves. I decided to use the GNU image manipulation program to do this. I'm not going to say the word, in case the YouTube overlords are watching, praise be to them. And I really don't know why I decided that that was a good idea, because I've never used it before, and frankly I would have had an easier time in Paint, or PowerPoint, or Excel. I don't expect the player to have a doctorate in chemistry. I feel somehow that would be a little unfair. So, while I might put labels on the different chemical substances later, the book just describes everything using colours and objects to give a hint of what to do. Once I'd finally drawn all the objects, several hours later, I made the background transparent and then imported them onto transparent planes on top of the book pages, so that when you opened the book, everything was revealed. Next up, we're finally going to use these bowls. Though, as you'll work out, they're literally not needed, as you can solve the puzzle without them. But the whole point of this project is to learn how to do things. And in this case, I wanted to see how you could use particle collisions to trigger reactions from other objects. So I brought my bowl back into Blender and made a liquid which would represent the acid. Then in Unity, I simply made an animation of the bowl filling up and wrote some code so that when the acid particles from the bottle collided with the bowl, it would simply play the animation, like so. These must be magic bowls because they will never, ever overflow. I should start a trade. Here we've got the same thing happening, but now I've applied it to the copper carbonate instead. But when I try to add the acid, nothing happens, and that's not really that good. So once again, I'm going to use my trusty water effect from the tap to create a kind of blue magical fire that will only play whenever the sulfuric acid comes into contact with the copper carbonate. Sulfuric acid and copper carbonate is actually going to give you copper sulfate, which has that nice blue colour. So let's see the reaction in action. That was not a pun I intended. Not bad. And you can't really see the changeover from the copper carbonate to the copper sulfate, so that's good. I wanted the player to be able to empty the bowl in case they ever messed up, so I wrote some more code to play the particle system whenever you turned the bowl upside down, and after a few seconds the copper sulfate would disappear. So yeah, kind of works I guess. I applied the same thing to the copper carbonate, nice green particles there, and then to the copper sulfate. Okay, until now, we've not used the salts whatsoever. It's just been a prop. But I suppose given how much the salt was actually coming out of it, it'd be worth a fortune in Roman times. It's going to be used in the creation of the rust. Now, here we've added the iron to water and it just created this kind of red oval sludge thing. But that's not really good enough. It's not really interesting enough. So you need to add salt to the water as well. And to make that look like a reaction, I once again brought out that particle system and just changed the colours a bit. Okay, so I'm now going to add the iron straight into the water. And what you'll notice is it's not actually reacting anymore. So what we've got to do is add the salt in, and the salt will actually turn the water white, but if the iron is also present, it will start a reaction. which, yeah, it wouldn't actually happen like this with fire and brimstone, but it creates the rust sort of sludge that's actually in the sink. Okay, great. Thank you very much again for watching. Next week, we are going to look again at the hands to see if we can make the fingers move according to the player's input on the controller. And we'll try and have a look at the rest of the models again to see if we can make things look more realistic than they are. So, thanks very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.